Hi, this is Penny Oates again, day 16 of the challenge I think, and I'm here today to talk to you about generating leads from LinkedIn. Now, we've already had a tutorial on setting up LinkedIn and getting the profile right, so I'll just put a link to that one on the bottom of this page so that you can check that out if you like. The main points though were getting a profile on LinkedIn right. Remember, it's a big business medium. People are expecting to see professional people, so you need to spend quite a lot of time on your profile getting it absolutely right. Also, what I perhaps didn't say in the last tutorial is some people will only read the first probably 30%, but first third of your profile. So you'd be better to put the best bits of your profile, the bits that give you the most authoritative stance, if you like, the most kudos, at the top of the page. So if, for example, you've explained about how you were at university and you did this, that and the other, perhaps the best thing to put at the top of the page is what degree you got and your current business experience, rather than what you did at college. But that said, once you've got your profile there, that is one of the first ways that you generate leads via LinkedIn. The first approach is to make sure that the company details that you have on there are extremely appealing, because people will look for professionals, so they'll look to your company details and come to you for that. That's what I would call the direct approach. The second approach, which is the one I want to concentrate on today, is to start a conversation with somebody. And there's a number of different ways that you can do that, and we're going to go through that in detail a bit further on. But the first thing you can do is to offer free advice. So through your LinkedIn pages, you can offer people, say, free ebooks or free videos, something that will be beneficial to the people that are coming to look at your site, because you need to build up a presence on LinkedIn and become, if you like, a figure of authority on your subject. And that is by far the best way of getting people to come to you. You could have an opt-in there on LinkedIn, getting them to sign up for a newsletter, or where they could download a white paper on your particular subject, or it could take you through to a landing page on your website specifically designed for people coming from LinkedIn. What a lot of people make a mistake at when they're doing LinkedIn is they're targeting the end user all the time. Now, sometimes you have to do that depending on your industry, but sometimes it's better to target the salesman, the person in that particular sector that would have influence. So distributors, salesmen, small business owners in that sector. So let's then look at the number of ways there are to attract leads to you. One thing you can do, there's an answers section on LinkedIn. It's very, very underused. I didn't even know it was there for quite a while, to be honest. But what happens is people put questions on there. If it was me, I would give answers, not all the time, maybe go on to the answers section and post answers maybe a couple of times a week. Don't answer everything, it just looks stupid and that you're trying to get business from it. But if you go on a couple of times a week and answer questions correctly, then people will start to see you as an authority on that subject. So you start to build up credibility with other professionals using LinkedIn. The other thing I would do is I would add blog posts to LinkedIn. Go into LinkedIn applications and there are options to add blog posts. That's excellent because it gives you links back from LinkedIn to your blog site, so it helps your blog site's ratings, but also it gives kudos to what you're saying because they can go on and have a little bit of a more in-depth look about what you do. Now, where most people get their business from, because that's the most obvious one to do, is by joining groups. But a lot of people don't know enough about getting leads through groups. The maximum you're allowed to join at a time on LinkedIn is 50. So use that 50 wisely. There's no point going onto a group that's exactly like yours unless you're, for example, an internet marketer and you're trying to find other internet marketers. Let's say that you're a social media marketer. There's no point joining other social media marketing groups because they're all going to be pretty much like you and after what you're after. You're better off joining groups outside of that. So look for groups that would add to your circle of people that you know, rather than be the same ones all after the same thing. It's always worthwhile when you set up your groups joining some country groups as well. That's because a lot of people go to country groups when they're first getting onto LinkedIn. So you might have a group for China, you might have a group for Romania, Spain, wherever. Join those groups, at least a handful of them, so you get those people as they first come in. Right, so moving on, what would you do with the groups? Don't join them all at a time. Probably join about 15 at one time. Once you've joined the group, then you need to go onto that group and you need to post on there. So I would go onto the group, I would start a discussion in each group, and I'd continue that discussion for at least 5 days before I ever put a link to my website or approached anybody about what it is that I do. And then by that time you'll have built up as an authority and they will be interested to know what it is you do. So you have to start slowly and build up gradually. Now the other thing that a lot of people aren't aware of is LinkedIn People. There's a section on there, LinkedIn People, which is great for salespeople. It's great if you want to search for a specific company. So you can go into the top right hand corner and you can do a search for a company. So let's say you wanted to get into, I don't know, Coca-Cola, say, and you didn't know anybody in Coca-Cola. You could do a search in the people section on Coca-Cola. They might come up with a number of executives. Now, if they're not in your first person list or your second person, then go on to second person and see if you can find somebody in your second person that links to somebody else that you have as a second person. You generally can, and then it's a question of getting an introduction for them. So you can actually target the companies that you want to go into. So look for your second connections. well, first connections ideally, but look for second connections if you can't find them, and see if you can link them up to your second collections. Hello Rosie, there's no point you coming into this video, so you go away now. Go on, good dog, sit down, go on, sit. So the next thing I wanted to mention were LinkedIn direct ads. Now that isn't for somebody that wants free advertising, I appreciate that, or wants free lead generation, but it is a very good way of driving prospects from LinkedIn to your landing pages. It works the same way as Google pay-per-click, so it's worthwhile doing at some point. And then the other thing you can do is you can do LinkedIn mobile. You can use it at shows, just bump phones together. If you're on LinkedIn, you've got the LinkedIn app and they are, then you can automatically change LinkedIn details without any effort whatsoever. The other thing I get asked is, should you post on LinkedIn? Yes, you should. But it's quite important that it's a good posting, because remember, you're setting yourself up as an authority figure. If in your profile, the product description, they can't understand what your product's about in the first 3 sentences, you might as well forget it. So you need to start your product listing with something exciting, something like a unique product, first to market, etc, etc. There's no point giving it a long build up, because you will have lost them by then and they will never get to know about your products. So that pretty much gives you something to go at. Remember, when you're starting your conversations, softly, don't pitch in. They're professionals, don't pitch in and just try and sell something straight away. Build yourself up as an authority, and they will start to come to you and want to know what you do. I have got thousands and thousands of leads from LinkedIn over the years, and they're very good, targeted, specific leads. These people don't have a problem spending money with you. They've got the money to spend, the majority of them. They don't have a problem, provided your service is good and is offering value. So make sure you take time to get these people on board. Don't pitch them immediately, just build yourself up as an authority figure in your field, and the leads will follow. So thank you very much for your time. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I'm going to be back again tomorrow with the next day of the challenge. So until then, goodbye.